A woman dated a Nigerian man for 6 months before discovering she was pregnant in January 2022. What had seemed like a promising relationship quickly crumbled under the weight of cultural differences and emotional abuse. But she made a decision early on. She would be a mother with or without him. This baby was hers, and she would protect him no matter what. Her pregnancy was brutal. Depression medication, weight loss, mental exhaustion. She was carrying life while fighting to stay alive herself. Through it all, she held on to the hope that maybe, just maybe, the father would show up when it mattered. In September 2022, she gave birth to her son. In the hospital, postpartum emotions flooding her system, she reached out to the father one last time. She offered a DNA test. She told him he could name the baby. She extended an olive branch soaked in desperation and hope. He didn't respond. Not to calls, not to texts, not to voicemails. Nothing. Silence. For 3 days, she sat in that hospital room with her newborn son, waiting for a man who never came. On the 3rd day, she made the choice herself. She named her baby. She gave him one of the names the father had mentioned during their relationship. A gesture of goodwill, a small acknowledgement of his heritage. But she gave her son her last name. She wasn't about to name her child after a ghost. 3 months later, the father showed up. Just like that. No explanation for the silence. No apology for abandoning them. He agreed to the DNA test, confirmed paternity, and they reconciled briefly. Maybe she wanted to believe in second chances. Maybe she was exhausted and hopeful. Maybe she just wanted her son to have a father. Then his work visa expired, and he had a plan. He convinced her to marry him, claiming it would extend his visa so he could stay in the country and provide for them. He promised couples therapy. He promised family vacations. He painted a picture of a future together. What he didn't tell her was that she'd be applying for his citizenship. She felt played, manipulated, used like she'd been set up to get him a green card and possibly give him leverage to take her baby. The realization sent her spiraling. She got therapy. They broke up. She moved back in with her mother and tried to rebuild her life. She kept things cordial. She sent him pictures of the baby. She didn't make waves. She was trying to co-parent with a man who had shown her he couldn't be trusted. Then, on her son's first birthday in September 2023, she got served with a protective order. Out of nowhere. No warning, no explanation. The legal document arrived like a slap, shaking her to her core. Months of no contact followed. He missed both birthdays, but every month, $400 appeared. Child support. The bare minimum. She had prepared herself to be a single mother, and that's exactly what she became. Now it's 2025. Her son is 2.5 years old, and the father has returned with demands. He wants her to change her son's last name and middle name to his tribal names. He claims it's about inheritance in Nigeria, that without these specific names, her son won't be able to claim what's rightfully his from the father's family. She told him she'd consider it, but only if he could consistently show up for his son. She said this back in November 2024. She gave him a clear condition. Be present, be a father, prove you're committed, and then we'll talk about names. He disappeared again. Months passed. Then last weekend, he showed up. After months of absence, he suddenly reappeared and started making the same demands. No apology, no accountability, just entitlement. She looked at this man, this person who had abandoned her in the hospital, who had manipulated her into marriage for a green card, who had served her with a protective order on their son's first birthday, who had missed milestone after milestone, and she said no. Her son has her last name. Period. But now she's questioning herself. Is she being petty? Is she denying her son a connection to his heritage? Is she punishing the father by keeping her last name on their child? Or is she protecting her son from a man who has proven, time and time again, that he cannot be relied upon? Is she standing firm in a decision she made when she was alone in that hospital room, holding her newborn, waiting for a father who never came? The father claims it's about inheritance. But she knows better. It's about control. It's about him asserting ownership over a child he hasn't consistently shown up for. It's about him wanting the benefits of fatherhood, The legacy, the lineage, the tribal connection, without doing the actual work of being a father. She carried this baby through depression and weight loss and mental exhaustion. She gave birth alone. She named him alone. She has raised him with help from her mother while he sent $400 a month and called it fatherhood. Her son has her name because she was there, because she stayed, because when it mattered most, she was the one who showed up. And no amount of talk about inheritance in Nigeria will change the fact that this child's mother has been his constant, his protector, his home. What do you think about this situation? Is the woman wrong to refuse changing her son's name when the father has been inconsistent and unreliable? Should a child's name reflect who raised them, or should cultural heritage and potential inheritance take priority? Share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Like, comment, share, and follow this page for more.